Hello there, friends. Welcome to another episode of Star Wars Galaxies. So today, someone asked me a very valid question on how I install multiple client copies for playing different servers. So since I play on I don't play on more servers than anybody, but I have probably played on most servers than most people ever will, doing some of the reviews and some of the visitations that I've done. I have a lot of servers. Now, there's some points of contention, and I'm going to come right out and say my way is not necessarily the best way, nor am I saying my way is even the correct way. This is just my way. So this is how I do it, and this is what works for me. So, what we've got, and we're going to do this with the Flurry server because I had to change my password on there anyway, so I might as well go ahead and log in. So, I have Star Wars Galaxies installed, and I have SWGEMU installed. And when I did the installation on Star Wars Galaxies and SWGEMU, I went and did the full patch on SWGEMU's client. So I successfully was able to test connecting to Basilisk. So let's say I am your typical player and I've been playing on Basilisk for a long time, and I want to try something different. I want to go out. I want to be out in the world. I want to see new things. I want to experience new stuff in Star Wars Galaxies that Basilisk doesn't have, because Basilisk is pure code. So it stays with we're going to be this patch level. And you get on the forums and you're like, I really want more. Well, there's more to be had. And we visited a lot of those servers to check out what they offer. And there's nothing wrong with playing on other servers. You're not cheating on Basilisk. You're not doing anything bad. Basically, they may have a feature that you consider to be interesting or cool or different housing or different moveset, or they already have Jedi, or they already have this, or they already have that. And that's a feature that you want to try out, if not make that server your new home. And that's great. No one says you have to play on Basilisk, even though SWGEMU's Basilisk server is kind of the root of where everything comes from. Well, that's not entirely true either, but for the sake of argument, let's assume that it is. Does not mean you have to play there. There's a considerable player base there, but honestly, no one could tell you how many players there are and how many bots there are, because there are a ton of bots on Basilisk, and those get counted the same as players because they're all connections. That's not the purpose of this video. We're not going to get into that. And please don't take it to the discussion. If we want to make a discussion about bots versus players, we can do that later. And I'll make another video for that, and we can discuss it over there. Actually, maybe I'll do it as a question and answer live stream. That sounds like it might be an interesting dispute. Show me your viewpoint, and I will share my viewpoint with you, and everybody's viewpoint will be respected, because there's no reason why I can't agree to disagree, but still agree that you're a valid point. So, back to what we were saying. I have Star Wars Galaxies installed. I have done the patch, so I have everything I need right here. And this is just a plain Galaxies install. Nothing special about it. We can connect to Basilisk. It has all my settings and preferences already set. So what I do, I copy it, and then I paste it. And now we have Star Wars Galaxies -copy. And we'll wait for it to finish pasting. How much space do I have left? Only 10 terabytes. So, why are we doing this? Why do we want to make another copy of our Star Wars Galaxies directory? And this is something that I presented last time someone told me this is not how you have to do this. And I agree completely with what they said. You don't have to do it this way. But some of the emulators that I played on, I found had add-ons that I did not want carrying over into my other Star Wars Galaxies installations. And this way it keeps them separate. Now, every server's install procedure is going to be a little bit different. We're doing this with Flurry in mind, simply because Flurry was convenient. So That's the only reason we're doing Flurry. I'm not saying you have to do this with Flurry. I'm not saying Flurry is the only way you can do this. You can do this with pretty much any of the servers out there. And this is how I've done all of the visitations and reviews that I've done, because I was having a ton of problems going back to Basilisk after doing these reviews before I started doing it this way, because one of them added in a feature that like doubled or tripled the zoom out range, and another one added a feature that did this, and another one added a feature that did this. And these are all mods that the developers have put together, or they've taken off of Mod the Galaxy, which is an awesome site, and incorporated them into their plugin directory, and that plugin directory got pretty well trashed after a while of me not clearing them out. And Basilisk started crashing on me. Well, there's nothing I hate more than a game that crashes, so I preferred to keep them isolated in their own little worlds. Now, I could, of course, play every single one of these in its own virtual machine if I chose to do so. Star Wars Galaxies does not have that much of a requirement for system resources, and I've got plenty that I could spare, so if I wanted to run it in a virtual machine, I could. However, I don't want to do that, because then I lose some of the graphical capability I have, and recording in a virtual machine can be a little bit tricky. Not impossible, but tricky. Done it before. So, we've got our copy, and we're going to name our copy what server we're going to play on, simply so we can identify it, so when we go in here, we know what we're looking for. Now we're going to run the Flurry installer. And Flurry actually has an installer. No, shut up, AVG. It doesn't have anything bad in it. Are you going to block it, or are you going to run it? Okay, it's going to let me run it. So here is our installer. So we accept the agreement. And now it wants to know where it should install this. Well, I don't install anything on my C drive, so everything goes on D. So Flurry installer is going in Program Files 86, SWG Flurry Launcher, and that's the launcher for Flurry. And for the sake of argument, we're going to create a desktop shortcut, and we're going to rip and let it roll. So now Flurry's launcher is installed. So now we're going to launch the launcher. I know, redundant, right? So here is Flurry. Flurry doesn't know where my Star Wars Galaxies directory is, and that's perfect because we don't want it to. So we want to run the setup wizard. Select where SWGEMU is installed. So we're going to blah, 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 blah. Where was the program? Yeah, it was Program Files x86. Star Wars Galaxies Flurry. Okay. Would you like to install SWG Flurry in the same directory as SWGEMU? In this case, yes, I do, because I want to keep it as isolated as possible. So now it's going to check my installation. It's going to add in anything that it thinks it needs to add in. And that's awesome, because then it's only touching the Flurry directory, not my directory. And now it says we are all set, and we can do anything we want from here. So we're going to do another check just to make sure, because who knows what that initial setup missed. So Flurry is actually pretty popular right now. There's 134 users online. The 147 highest population. It's been up for 2 days now. So that's awesome. They have their own Discord. And no, this is not an advertisement for Flurry. I just know I got an email from them about changing my password. So it kind of made me go, maybe I need to take another look at Flurry and log into it. And that's what we're going to do. So bear with me for logging into Flurry if you don't like this server. This is not a server I play on regularly. I just happen to have an account here, and they said, hey, change your password. So it was stuck in my mind. So now we have Star Wars Galaxies Flurry. We have, and we can close this. We don't need it anymore. There's our Flurry launcher. There's our SWGEMU launcher and their own directories. This is our base Star Wars Galaxies. This is our Flurry installation. Closing that because we don't need it. to drag the Flurry launcher over here next to the Flurry installer because I don't need another icon on my desktop. I think I have enough. Don't you? I actually probably need to go through and get rid of a bunch of these, but Blizzard just went through and updated all the software, and every time Blizzard seems to update the software, they throw another icon on the desktop. I don't know why. So we are downloading and downloading and downloading. And once we get done, we will launch Flurry. So I'd actually planned on doing this earlier, but when I fired up OBS, it decided it needed to do an update. So OBS had to update, a bunch of other stuff had to happen, and it was all kinds of coordination, and it was like a precision band. No, it really wasn't. It was more like me just sitting here going, God, please finish so I can record this video. I have stuff I want to do, which is record more videos. And I can't get started until you finish this update. And I was all like, not really into waiting today because I was up very late last night trying to put together some Final Fantasy 14 content, and the group I was with was not doing what I expected. What I expected them to do was to go into the duty and finish it without wiping and having to restart the duty 7 times. But that wasn't the case. So I have a feeling when I go in and I record it tonight, because I do need to put another video up tonight, I will post it regardless. So if you're watching this, it may be more amusing to actually go watch the Final Fantasy video that follows this one, because who knows what happened. I know I'm on a tough set of floors in Palace of the Dead. So needless to say, a lot of people are not making it through. And I'd like to say there was much rejoicing, but there was probably much cursing. And hopefully you like my new desktop. It seemed fitting for a Star Wars Galaxies video. New wearable capes. So you could be Lando Calrissian. I think when it came to Flurry, I just didn't have enough money to look around. But it was, I don't remember much about this server. It's been a while since I've actually done the exploration of some of these servers. I started doing it way back. And I really enjoyed it, visiting them. There was only a couple that I wasn't really happy with. But that's okay. Maybe those have improved. Actually, one of them that I reviewed that did fairly, well, let's just say not up to snuff, took a lot of the comments I think I made to heart and improved greatly. And I would actually love it if the devs would invite me back to do a re-review, but I'm not going to do that until they tell me that they're interested in that. But I do always publicly say whenever I talk about some of them that they have taken these, and I'm sure they've watched them, and they have improved. I've also seen some of the venting comments from some of the dev team that have come here and posted comments and then deleted them, because I see those too. So some of those have been pretty amusing. So yeah, if I've visited your server and you've made dramatic progress from when I visited it, by all means, send me an email and invite me to come back and do a re-review. If you had problems when I did my visit and you fixed those problems, I will come back at your request and do another visit. I'm happy to do that. However, I will not do that based on a user doing this. I need someone on the dev team to contact me so that I know it is a valid request, because if the reason behind that is I know a lot of people in the Star Wars Galaxies community are very, very passionate about the servers they play on. And I get that, and I like it. I appreciate it. It's what keeps me close to the game all these years. But if you're the developer that's actually running the server that you play on is not technically ready or has something else in mind that they'd rather they hold out to have me come back to talk about later, if you come through and tell me, hey, go revisit this one, it's changed a bunch, I'm going to have to decline based on the fact that you're not the controller of the server and you're not the controller of the code base. So we'll keep this to the developers and the dev team. If you verify that you're on the dev team on any server that I visited, or even one that I haven't, if you want me to come visit and publicize your server, most of my Star Wars Galaxies videos get a good number of views. I'm very pleased about that, and I can't say how happy I am at how many people come watch them. If you want me to do a feature on your server, I will do a feature on your server. If you want me to promote something that's going on your server, believe me, invite me to do so. But the development team has to be the ones that invite me. And yeah, I am just passing time right now, so I probably should have anticipated this was going to take a little bit of time and just done it in quick motion, but I do not have time to edit a video after this is done and cut time, so we are going to we're going to roll with this, and I'm just going to talk. And that's cool, and you can watch what it's like in case you didn't see how Flurry is installed. Now you'll know. And this is pretty much what it is. See, what else have they got going on? Because they've been doing some patches, it looks like. Black wing crystals, healing when knocked down. I wonder if they fixed it so you could, or fixed it so you can't. Hollow grinding bug with unknown profession by an engineer. So I remember on live when I did the hollow grind, I actually did every single class. And the class that I popped Jedi on was actually the last class I wanted to do, and the last class that I somehow skipped, and it was Master Artisan. Entertainers are now capped at 125%. No more bugged ints. So that means your faction bonus doesn't count anymore. To reach the highest int buffs, you need to be mastered with plus 25 tapes. All buildings offer the same flat 100% mind buffs. To reach endgame, you must be taped to reach 125. And it's fair, but I know sometimes you can get faction involved and get a higher buff on some servers. But it's good that they put that out there and saved it. All races can now use instruments. That's great. Did they fix the hut dance? So I think this one had a bunch of races. All squad leader group buffs are limited to 120 meter range. That's nice. You don't have the guys just standing around in cities saying, oh, I'm going to buff you and go do whatever you want, change planets and whatnot. -1 damage. That's awesome. Oh, new races introduced as a 5/5. So they got Aqualish, Bith, Chiss, Devronian, Godel, Gran, Hut, Ishtib, Nautiland, Night Sister. I always wanted to play a Night Sister. That seems like it could be so cool. Nikto, Korin, singing Mountain Clan Witch, Talls, and Weekway. So Bounty Hunter's getting some melee mitigation. Nice. I can say these guys have been sitting on their laurels. They have been doing some developing. More badges. Tanab, they've got some extra planets in here with badges. So that's... Oh, Mythosaur. I don't remember much about this server. FRS. So they do have Jedi. And I think this was one of the ones that was like really donate heavy. But hey, if you're doing that much development, maybe that would be a good thing. So we're downloading patches, and this is why a lot of the installers fail is you forget to download do the check after you do the installation. And after you do the SWGEMU check, you may still have more things to download like you're seeing here. Because we have been downloading for, how long has this video been? 19 minutes already. So I know this is boring, but hey, I'm going to catch you up on a little bit of Star Wars Galaxy stuff that's going on. Probably going to start looking into getting back into this a little bit soon. I don't know what soon is, but I got to look at the calendar and see what the patches look like for Basilisk, because I've been neglecting doing that for quite a while, and I probably ought to go check it out. God, this thing just shoved icons all over my desktop. Oh well, whatever. Come on. Should be done soon. Some of these aren't going to be that big. Oh, lordy. See, this is the one downside of playing Star Wars Galaxies, is a lot of these guys, I appreciate the effort that goes into making a launcher, and I appreciate these guys for making a launcher and allowing us to download all the patches and whatnot as we go. But I'm downloading it from their server, which has probably got a lot of in and out traffic on it right now, so it's probably slowing it down considerably. But I kind of miss like some of the commercial new MMOs that like Diablo's really good about that. You watch Diablo and it tells you when it's safe to start playing, and then you can start playing it and it'll run slow, but it'll run. World of Warcraft does that too. So they have like a point where you can say, okay, you're downloading these patches, you can play, but you're not going to have all the assets. We're going to download those in the background. I just don't think anybody wants to put that much effort into a Star Wars Galaxies launcher, which is fine. I just miss it because like I want to play now and I got to go wait. But, you know, really, I could go get a cup of coffee or something and come back and it would probably be done. Okay, maybe not. It doesn't take me that long to make coffee. So we got the contest wrapping up this week. This should be an interesting one. I am working on something interesting that I want to do, but I am waiting to hear back from the license holder on it to get permission to do what I want to do with it. So I know I discussed this a little bit in the giveaway that I wanted to do another giveaway. So I figured something out that I want to do, and I don't want to get too much into detail with it, and I want to do this with you guys. So I want you to play with me, and we're going to stream it. So we're all going to be streamers for the day. But I'm waiting to get permission. Because in order to do this, I'm going to need written permission from the current license holder of the franchise, in order to do it. Now, when I said we're all going to be streamers, I want to clarify. This product is extremely protective of their IP. And if you were to play with me and you decide to stream this yourself, my declaration of having permission to do that would not cover you, but you will be part of my stream. And your actions will be shown to everyone, so you can do whatever emotes you want to do and say whatever you want to say, and people will see it. So this one will probably have a pretty high tag on it about whatever you see, you see. Some things can't be unseen. But anyway, I am working on getting that together. I have not got the written permission back yet to talk further about it, and I don't want to say what it is, because if I tell you what it is and everybody thinks it's oh so cool, and it seems like it is to me, if they decide not to give me permission for whatever reason, then it absolutely cannot happen. And this is one of those games I cannot play without permission, so I can't play this on the channel unless I get previously approved by the publisher or license holder to be able to do so. And that is one of the dangers of doing Let's Play videos and gameplay videos and walkthroughs and things of that nature, is that you can get not only your video taken down, but you can be sued personally for doing things. Doesn't happen very often. Most of the time you get a cease and desist letter. You pull your videos and you're good. But this particular company is a little unpredictable. So I want to make sure that we are in the clear and we have very explicit rights to use the assets in the way that I want to use them. So more on that later. If that falls through, we're going to do some other things instead. But I have something in mind that I want to do, and I have not yet got clearance to do that. The letters have been sent, and they've been actually received. I got the confirmation on that. I'm just waiting for their legal department to get back to me. Hopefully it doesn't run into something like it did when I was in contact with the legal department for Anarchy Online, because they took quite a while to get back with me. But the results on that were positive, and I pretty much got a green light to do any of their products, which is great. I really like them. They did a lot of cool things. Even though Anarchy Online's graphics are not great, it's still kind of a niche game that I really enjoy playing. I wish the population was higher. I wish there were more people. I wish a lot of things for that game. I wish they would do a graphical revamp. I wish they would do an Anarchy Online 2. I don't see it happening, though, because they probably can't justify it. But, man, the depth in that game was just so good. But the graphics in that game were just so bad. It was like you take a wireframe and you wrap a picture around it, and there you go. There's your character. Jagged edges and all. But to build lore for an entire game like that from nothing, from scratch, is pretty awesome. I actually really would have liked to have done a let's play through on it, or a feature series or something. I started playing and honestly could not remember how to play the game at all. And other things came along that caught my eye. So we never went anywhere with it. Same thing with Warframe. I played Warframe for a while and I came back to it. And honestly, I just don't have the talent or the time to play Warframe and get good at it. So I'm not really sure how comical it is to watch me bumble through a game for 100 levels. I guess we're doing that in Legend of Zelda, aren't we? Alright, well, anyway, if you are trying to do this is running way longer than I thought it was going to go. If you're going to do this, you've already got the idea of what we're going to accomplish. You already understand. I'm going to have to stop this at 30 minutes just to move on to something else. You've got the idea of what to do. All we're going to do from here is launch the game and get into it. From there, we should have no problems because the Flurry launcher is pointed at my new directory. Does not touch my Basilisk directory at all. Does not touch anything to do with my original installation. So that's still intact. And for the person who I had the discussion with about why I do this, you are absolutely right. There's no real reason to do this. You can do some wizardry with the SWGEMU launcher and plug in different servers to go connect to and download their patches and download their special stuff. But that goes outside the scope of what I'm going to try to accomplish here. I'm just showing you how I do this because I visit a lot of servers. So this is kind of my method. Do not expect the installation to take this long. I have pretty darn fast internet, and I'm sure their servers are a little tied up. Looks like they did a patch a couple days ago, so that may be running some logging or something, or monitoring just to see how things are going, and that's cool. They got a lot going on with FRS and things of that nature. I'm not sure how much more we need to download. And since I've talked across most of this, instead of just fast forwarding through it, I can't go back. Sound like a chipmunk for 20 minutes. But regardless, you've seen the installation process. I've caught you up to date on what's going on. We're pushing 30 minutes, and I'm not going to let it go much longer. I'm going to let it finish up this file, and see what it is. But again, I open this up to any development team. If you have anything you want me to do for your server, show up, do a review. You put a new server up, you want somebody to check it out. You got something different you want to show somebody, send me an invite. A lot of these guys become pretty good friends because they have sent me invitations. And by all means, I appreciate meeting new people who have similar interests to what I do, especially in Star Wars Galaxies or Star Wars in general. Kind of a big thing for me, obviously. So, come on. This is just poking along. I'm really sorry about this, guys. But, hey, you've seen Star Wars Galaxies before. It's not like this is the first time. This is like my 90-something video. I think you know what it looks like. And it does work. So, this is how I did it last time. It worked just fine. When I was having the problems recording the visitation videos was when I was installing them all in the same directory. Once I started doing it this way, I stopped having problems. And they don't really interfere with each other too much, but it's hard to give a clear presentation of what the server is when I've got mods from another server installed. So those are the two reasons why I did this this way. And I think the one that I went to had done a complete remap of the planets, and the next one I went to, I could not even get on to play because it wouldn't work. A lot of that, I couldn't get it to work after either, so I think they had some map glitch going on. But it certainly didn't help that I had all those mods in the server. So this keeps it clean, it keeps it nice, it keeps it organized, because if I suddenly decide that Flurry's pissed me off and I don't want to go back, I can just delete the directory and I'm done, and I don't have to do it. Galaxies is a really good installation that way because it's portable to a degree. I've actually used to keep a backup copy. A lot of the Sony games are like that. I kept a backup copy of the actual client on DVD, since this was before flash drives, and just kind of left it there. And whenever my system blew up, I could reinstall it by just copying that back down. I didn't have to install it from the disks. So when I had to install it from my disks to get on Basilisk, it was actually kind of a challenge to figure out where I'd put my discs, because I hadn't seen them for years because I never needed them. But I wanted to do it the right way, so I went downstairs and I went through my CD portfolios until I found it and pulled it out and did the install. And of course now I don't have a PC with a DVD player in it, so I had to actually buy a USB DVD writer so that I could install the game. Challenges we do for the things that we love. All right, I'm ending this. Anyway, you get the point. If you ever want to install multiple clients for multiple servers, this is what you do, and this is how I do it. Do it this way for every single one. If it's one where you copy the files in the directory, you just copy it into the copy directory that you made and run it from there, just like you normally would. Act with it exactly like you act with the server as it tells you, but adding in whatever you called the directory. Pretty simple. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them as always. I'm feeling a lot better now, so you can feel okay putting comments in there. Try not to snap at you. Sorry for the people who I kind of jumped on the last time, but had a pretty high fever, and I was all doped up on NyQuil, and posted comments, went to sleep, woke up in the morning, and was not too terribly pleased with myself for how I was coming off. Besides that, I wasn't making any sense. So, we don't have to worry about that anymore. Feel a lot better now. Cold's all gone, flu's all gone, whatever it was I had. So, we're back in shape. Got my scenes rebuilt in most of my recording software, so we're going to be back on track for doing recording, and May is turning out to be a pretty good month for this channel. Got the giveaway coming up this weekend, so we'll be doing that, and got a bunch of other stuff going on. And June is probably going to be a lay low kind of month where we just make videos and do the usual stuff, but hopefully July comes together into something special. So again, comments down below, questions down below in the description in the comment box. I'll catch you guys later. I am going to probably go get killed with the pickup group in Final Fantasy, so check that out. It's probably going to be hilarious how many times we die. And it's not even that hard. So, anyway, I'll see you guys there. Take it easy.